It left a glowing scar.
His heart lies silent.
What's up guys, Maximilian here, and welcome to the very final part of the Chronicles of Maximilian and Dragon's Dogma. In the background you're going to see some progression of the last part of the game that I'm playing right now. However, I'm going to continue playing it myself, but what I think is completed is this playthrough. Now, a lot of you guys were mentioning how the progress of this playthrough took a long time, and it kind of did. The biggest reason being is that I wasn't able to consistently put up the videos at the speed I wanted to because I was working on things like Retro Assist Me that you guys all now know about. But with this series, I think actually Dragon's Dogma has come to an end. Once the credits rolled, I was really shocked to see more at the end of the game, and now that I'm playing the end of the game, it really feels like there's a ton of content. Like, this game is designed for end-level content, but the main story, the main playthrough, is finished. So, with that, similar to the previous playthrough I did with Resident Evil Raccoon City, I want to do a quick breakdowns of some final thoughts on this game. So, first up and foremost, let's talk about the way the game looks, which is one of the most important aspects to me. How a game looks and how it makes you feel when you're playing it. Dragon's Dogma definitely takes in a very large scale and scope. I thought the world itself was going to be a bit bigger than it actually was, but the world in itself was actually fairly large, and the scale of which the world presents itself graphically is pretty striking. I actually think that this game looks really good as far as how much is going on in a single environment on a game like our current gen systems, but what I don't understand is why this game did not come out on PC. That still boggles my mind of how this game could not exist on like a PC platform. It seems like it would be designed for it. I haven't played any other games like Skyrim and big open world games. Usually I try to like avoid them because I don't feel they're like my style. But this one kind of harked to me because of the character creator, which is amazing, by the way. The character creator in this game is really good. And a couple of other elements that being very much tied to the original Capcom developers, who some of them that worked on like the Devil May Cry series and stuff like that. The action is the next thing I wanted to talk about, because the action in this game is amazing and it's really fun. I think the combat in Dragon's Dogma is one of its most staple points, and it works so well. Like, seeing all these crazy effects and spells happen in your party and on your team is one of the coolest things in this game. However, one thing that isn't cool about Dragon's Dogma is the fact that you have all these party members and not one of them are controlled by an actual person. There are all these AI things that are developed by other people, other pawns. But at the same time, it really strikes me that Dragon's Dogma still did not come with a multiplayer feature, at least to play with friends. As much as I have no problem with single-player games and games being a single-player experience, this game wasn't really specifically designed for a single-player experience. Like, some games are. Some games have you go through a title, and there's no way you can add, like, another person in there. It's supposed to be solo. You're supposed to be alone. It's a part of the story and the fiction that you're alone. But in Dragon's Dogma, that's literally never the case, except for, like, the very first part of the game, like the very first act. And then you get your pawn, like, within 30 minutes. Which shocks me that they never actually included a co-op multiplayer for other people just to join in your world. It's kind of shocking when you have a game like Journey, for example, which is a game that is very much a single-player game meant on you being alone, and then people randomly drop in, but you never even see their names, is actually a really smart way of doing it. You still have that lonely feeling, but at the same time, you have this sense of bigness that's happening around you, this sense of the world that's going on, and Dragon's Dogma could have easily had done that, I feel. I think that's one big downside to this game, is the fact that definitely could have included friends to play with, and all my friends that played the game feel the same way. But other than that, the story is pretty lacking. There's not much that happens in Dragon's Dogma up until the very end. And even the post-game story is more involved than what seems like the original fiction. The story of this game is the adventure, and that's probably another one of the best parts about it. The running around, adventuring, questing, fighting crazy monsters, fighting insane bosses, like the boss fights in this game are epic as hell. That stuff is completely awesome, and it's totally fun. I think Dragon's Dogma definitely captures the scale of going on an adventure. more than any other game that I've probably played in a very long time, and being rewarded for doing so. It does that very good, but there's just some really weird design decisions that seem like they're very much Japanese old school game development design decisions, which from what I understand, Dragon's Dogma 2 is actually being developed, that this game had sold enough in Japan and worldwide that they are going to be making more of it. So there's a chance that this stuff might actually be alleviated in another title. The thing I'm also like frightened about is that there was a ton of Capcom staffers, like not executive, but existing long-time Capcom staffers working on this game. And it doesn't really seem like it, like, for a very long time, too. Like, the development cycle of this game has been going on forever. And the game really doesn't show it. Like, the big problem with Dragon's Dogma, again, is the fact that it seems to lack polish. Like, some things like character animations, the world itself, things don't look really polished. They look like it took about maybe a year and a half, less than 2 years to pump this title out. And it's been developed for a really long time, from what I understand, so nonetheless, it's like a personal gripe. I do like polish in games, but Dragon's Dogma is a ton of fun. If I were to put my final thoughts on this game, I would say you should definitely play it. Don't expect a very deep story, because the game itself that you play is much, it definitely makes up for it. Playing, adventuring, killing monsters, fighting stuff, getting new pawns, going to new areas, that was always the most exciting part of Dragon's Dogma. Questing out at night, you know, doing all this crazy dangerous stuff. The difficulty factor early on was really fun too, and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun just running around Dragon's Dogma playing a single-player game. So once again, if you guys enjoyed this playthrough, leave me a thumbs up below. If you enjoyed Dragon's Dogma or the Chronicles of Maximilian, I would definitely appreciate your support, because there's not a lot of you guys watching this anymore, but nonetheless, I had a lot of fun, and I did want to see this game through to the end. But until next time, my name is Maximilian, and I'll see you guys on the next playthrough. Take care, folks.